Hello YouTubers, in this video we're going to be fitting a rear spoiler, factory rear spoiler onto the back of the Saab 9.3. I bought this from Belgium, I think, somewhere overseas, across the pond somewhere. And here it is. The box it came in is nondescript. It's some nondescript packaging. It came just like this, already painted. Everything ready to go. Just got to hook it up. So when I'm looking at a project like this, I got to be very, 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 very careful because I don't want to make or ruin something else with the car. So I do know that it goes onto the back of the spoiler across this line here, and I have to drill holes into the back of the car so that these can fit in it. These here are guide holes, and then there's another screw hole. So what I want to do is figure out where do these need to be in space on the back. Where are these holes? Before I can even do that, I need to find out if there's a provision that will allow me to tighten the bolts and to insert a bolt into that location. So the first thing I need to do is get this panel here off. In order to get the panel out, just pull your pins out, whatever type of pins you have. Mine were those. And then don't forget the handle. This panel is not going anywhere with the handle in place. Okay. It looks like the provisions for the screw holes are easily accessible. In here, all the way across, should be no problem really. Now, let's see if we can't figure out a way to mock up where are these holes on here. And then we have to drill them out. Man, I hate drilling into perfect paint, or perfectly good paint. Maybe not perfect paint, but. All right, let me devise a plan and we'll come back. Now what we need to do is I want to get these out, and these are E5s, and I believe this is a T20. The reason I want to get these out is because I want to see if there's a way to press this against the paint, the panel, and to figure out a way to mark its location somehow, some way. I don't know. Could be either taking these off or a waste of time, but we'll see. So now that I've taken the guide pins and the screws out, now I want to know where is this in space, and the center of the hole appears to be 5/8 from the bottom of the spoiler. So if I put a dot here under it and then put it to the car and put a dot on the bottom of the car, the hole should be 5/8 up on the dot on the back of the car. I want to make sure that they're all 5/8. So this side here, 9/16. The center of the hole from here looks to be a 1/2 inch on the outer edge. So I would imagine it works the same way. 1/2, 9/16, 5/8, 5/8, 9/16, 1/2. All right, so now what we want to do is to mark a line, a dot, with the center of the hole underneath the spoiler at each location. And that'll give me the approximate location as I put this on the back of the car. When I look underneath it, I'll know approximately where this pin and this screw are with it down, and then I'll put a dot, corresponding dot, on the back of the trunk. So let's do that now. Here's where I have it. There are no good pictures or not any good help online with regards to this, but it looks like it wants to follow, this line here wants to follow that line there. That's what it looks like. But let's just talk about my holes. Here's one of my marks. Here's another mark, another mark, another mark, and so forth and so on. They're all down here. So I think I'm going to put a mark here on the car, and then I will measure up half, 9/16, 5/8, 5/8, 9/16 and half, and just see where this lines up underneath the spoiler. So let's do that. Took it up, marked my lines underneath it, and then I put it back. And my lines lined up pretty good putting it back. It wants to sit here. If you were to try to move it up and down, you'll find that there's a pocket, and it wants to sit here. So if it wants to be there, I want it to be there. And these line up with my dots. So let's take a look at what I did. Here are my dots. Dot, 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 dot. So this represents, I actually did 1/16 more because of the thickness of the pen. The Sharpie is not a precise dot. It's an approximate location of where the spoiler was. But I did 1/16 up. The hole is going to be a little bit bigger. The part is going to move around slightly so that we can make it work. And if we have to bore out the hole a little more, well, we can. It's not the end of the world. This is to get us close. All right, let me work up some courage and get that drilled. So what I'm going to do is to start off with a small hole that's smaller than the screw, just to get this thing going. Now with some courage, y'all don't know. The holes are in. They're not the size yet. They're just locating holes now. Now let's get a bit that's bigger that the screw will fit through. I don't know if I'm about to cry or be happy. Already put back on the pieces. So I'm about to be unhappy. That hole there is off. This hole is perfect. This hole here is perfect-ish. This hole here is perfect. This hole here is perfect. This hole here is off. So the two outer ones, I guess I didn't compensate that they're going this direction-ish versus straight down. That way is straight. It's following the curve of the spoiler, but it's going to get hidden, and I'm going to touch this all up. Just pull it back out. Actually, let's make a line, draw a circle around that so we know where we got to be on each side, and then make our holes. Okay, I test fitted it on there after rounding out the holes a little bit. Doesn't look bad. Once it gets screwed into place. So let's pull it back out. It's just in there. Okay, on the underside, you see our hole right there. One right there, one right there, right there, right up in there, and the other one right there. So those are our holes. Now, what I want to do is put some touch-up paint on these holes on the inside and the outside. You'll never see it again, but let's protect the deck as best we can, or trunk lid. Okay, well, it's turned cold and windy and a little bit of rain, so we've moved to closing the garage door and we're inside. So we're nice and clean. So on the inside of the car, what I bought were bonded sealed washers. So that's these guys here, and they have a rubber foot over it. That too is going to help seal the hole once we tighten this down. My plan is to put this on the inside. So let me pause here, because what I didn't record is that I also added another washer. So what I'm talking about is I'm putting on this black washer first. It'll go up in the cavity of the trunk lid. That rubber washer goes first. Then I put a regular washer over that. Then I put the bonded sealed washer over that, and then the screw, which you're about to see. I just wanted to make sure that it was on there really good and tight, and I didn't want this thing to wallow out or anything, and that was the extra washer was for that purpose. Then this, and then the nut. So let's get that up here loosely. But first thing we want to do before we get it too far is take off the white backing tape off of both sides so that it can secure here. All right, spoiler's on. Now I'm going to put in the washers, the rubber washers, the sealing washers, or bonded sealed washers, and then the nuts. The nuts are these guys here, and they are M6 by 1s. The sealing washers were 5/16, and then the big rubber washer was 3/16 by 1 1/4. All right, let's get these onto the car. So there's my bolt on the passenger side corner. That's how I did it. I put an extra washer there just for whatever purpose. Here, didn't need them. You see that one and that one? And then I did the same thing over there for that one, just in case. So everything is on, nice and tight and secure. Let me clean up my mess and back it out and show you the results. All right, so here it is, all nice and clean. Car's been washed, and it looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. Lines up good. I'll put my instructions in the description in the bottom. You saw it in the video, but I'll also put it in the description. And remember, this is approximates. This is not absolutes, meaning I'm not telling you to do this to your car. I'm telling you where I drilled the holes on my car. What you do with that information is up to you. But it will, at least, according to how mine lined up with this part, which is a factory part, it worked out well. So yeah, everything looks fantastic. Paint matches dead perfect on. And eventually this will look even better when I get the right wheels and tire combo. So YouTubers, if you like the video, like the video.